Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. Let's talk about horrible bosses. We'll start with Mark Carney and then we'll pivot to Jagmeet Singh after I talk about Carney here. So, remember Chandra Arya? He was the Indian fella who tried to run in the Liberal leadership race, and he's from the riding of Nepean, I believe it's called, in the Ottawa suburbs, and so he ran and then was removed as a Liberal leadership candidate based on what they called the potential for foreign interference in his campaign in the leadership race. So he was removed as a leadership candidate and now has been removed as the Liberal candidate for his riding, which he has held since 2015. He's been there through 3 elections and won all 3, a relatively safe Liberal riding. Mark Carney needed a safe riding to run in as Prime Minister apparent, so he chose the riding vacated by Chandra Arya. There was some talk before he was going to take over Randy Boissonnault's riding in Edmonton, but that has obviously not happened, in spite of Randy Boissonnault also being booted from the party, and with justification, with the corruption charges against him, or allegations, I guess we should say, they're not charges. So horrible boss number 1 is Mark Carney, who has removed this candidate from his riding in order to give himself a safe place to run. Horrible boss number 2 is Jagmeet Singh. Now, I've talked about Jagmeet Singh fairly recently in a video where I stated that I believed that Jagmeet Singh was a terrible politician. And the reason for that was that if you look back to the fall, when people really were pushing for Justin Trudeau to resign and everybody wanted an election, and the Liberal Party's future was really in jeopardy. I mean, there was a time in the fall where the Liberal Party was looking like they could finish 3rd or 4th in a national election. And the NDP was poised, if they had agreed to call an election, to potentially become the opposition. Jagmeet Singh could have been leader of the opposition. The NDP could have formed the opposition for the first time since Jack Layton, and only the 2nd time in their history federally. Jagmeet Singh chose not to take that opportunity, and as such has seen the fortunes of the NDP fall to the point where right now there's a potential that the NDP may come out of a federal election with only single-digit seats. Now, an argument could be made if Jagmeet Singh were to be asked who his responsibility to, he could say that his responsibility is to the citizens of Canada. And I could see that argument, but I would also argue that Jagmeet Singh has an obligation to his party, the NDP, to try to grow his party. He opted to not take the opportunity to grow his party and form the opposition, and instead is now on the brink of becoming a non-party. So is Jagmeet Singh throwing this election? Is that what he's doing in order to keep the Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives out of power and rolling over for the NDP or for the Liberals and Mark Carney? Maybe, I don't know. I don't think we can say with any sureness that that's what's happening. But Jagmeet Singh might not be a terrible politician, but he's a terrible boss. And the only reason I say he might not be a terrible politician is that he put out a post, I believe it was on X, where he let everybody in Canada know that he's the only leader in the upcoming election that hasn't been endorsed by Donald Trump. So, I don't think anybody, well, I shouldn't say that, but nobody should believe that Donald Trump has endorsed either Pierre Poilievre or Mark Carney. What I would say, I actually believe Donald Trump, where he says he doesn't care who wins because he just doesn't. He's got the stronger hand, and whoever wins is going to have to play the game that he wants them to play. But that being said, Jagmeet Singh, I don't believe that Yves-François Blanchet has received Donald Trump's endorsement either. So you're not the only leader of the parties who hasn't received his endorsement. Anyways, horrible bosses, 2 of them. Mark Carney kicking out one of his members so he could take his riding, Jagmeet Singh for sinking his party and cratering the political futures of a number of his MPs who are, his employees technically. So he's, terrible politician, terrible boss. There's my divisive rhetoric for the day. If you have not yet chosen to do so, I'd encourage you to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.